All right, so people are starting to roll in, and we are at the top of the hour, just a little bit over. So I'm going to get things started, and I want to welcome you all here to the first ever. I wish I knew about that customer roundtable. So this is really to be presented as. It's just so many times people say to me, "I didn't know you did that." So I figured, well, I'll just kind of present a whole bunch of things to everybody today. And for the housekeeping items, this is being recorded right now, so we will share it with you. And even if some of your colleagues didn't make it, if they registered, they will get what we share as well. So of course, we ask that you please don't share this beyond your internal group, and we appreciate that. Let's see, please consider engaging. Yeah, this is meant to be informative and educational. You may get ideas, and if you are interested in anything that I show you, especially if it's something that's purchasable, then just let us know, and we'd be happy to talk to you about that separately. Also, we do want you to engage if you like. It's up to you. It could be maybe not the right forum. Maybe there's too many people on the line. You don't want to do that. But if you want to engage and talk and hold up your hand and ask questions, that would be great. Because the whole thing is designed to be to help you be the fundraiser that you always wanted to be. I mean, that's what we always say around here. So this is for you. And like I just was saying, the participation is appreciated, but it is not mandatory. And at the end of the event, you'll get a quick survey, and happy to hear your thoughts on these kinds of things so that we understand how to improve them is really the bottom line. So, all right, without any further ado, I guess I'll get to, I got my handy dandy list of things that we're gonna talk about. They're gonna pretty much follow along the lines of either free tools, which is what we're gonna start with, or they are going to be paid add-on. So, all right. Let's jump right into the discussion. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention that we're going to be talking mostly about the fact that everything that we do here is not only about plan gifts. It's really mostly about major and we see a plan gift as a major gift, but it's major and mid-level giving. So I'm going to start with one tool that some of you, if you're customers, you probably already know that you get this, but if you are not a customer and you want it, you can get what I invented. It's called the DAF widget. So I came to the conclusion that one of the big reasons why people are not giving from DAFs as much as we would like is because they encounter too much friction in the process. In other words, if you go to most organizations' websites, they have a donate now button, but most don't have a give from your donor advised fund button. That's usually because the people who are running the website don't even know what a donor advised fund is, and B, that they may feel it's too many words and too much real estate to take up on from the main page. So we created this widget whereby if somebody has a donor advised fund and they they already gave the money away and they already got their tax write-off. So why not just make it easy for them to go to their donor advised fund? And I'm actually going to mine right now, but I'm not going to log in. But this takes me to my page, and there you start to see my stuff. But yeah, this just makes it easy and seamless for somebody to search for their fund and find it easily, and then make the transfer, if you will. So I think there's like 900 or so in here. There's too many to scroll through, but it's very easy and very searchable. And again, you can get the snippet of code for that, either from your customer success manager or just email info@imarketsmart.com. You fill out the form and you get the snippet code. Of course, if you're using our system, you already have this on your VIP microsite pages, but I strongly encourage you to ask your webmaster or whomever it is to put it in as many places as possible on your main website. So on this page, we actually have examples, if you scroll down as I just did, to see other ways that other organizations have been using or near their donate now button, but other people will put it on pages like this, that are all about maybe bequests or other kinds of major gifts and so on, maybe even on their donate page. All right. So that's the first trinket that I'm offering and reminding you about. I have my list here. The second one is something called the fundraising report card. Now, this report card is if any of you are familiar with Tableau or any of these analytic programs, of course, there's the simple way to gather your analytics and to study them is with Excel and just creating charts, but it takes a lot of time. So what I created here is an app, and it's free, whereby you drag and drop your data. It's only 3 items of data that you would need to drag and drop. Or if you are using any of these platforms, then we have an integration set up. But basically, if you drag and drop your data in here, this essentially replaces Microsoft Power BI. It's not flexible like the Microsoft Power BI, but it will do the job that you need in a matter of seconds. So you would only need to drag and drop 3 data points, which are, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. They're really just the donor ID, the donation amount, and the date of each donation. And that's all. That's all we need. It can be anonymous. You don't need to put in any more data than that. And when you drag and drop it in, then you end up getting all your KPIs. You get your growth chart. And I'll even stay on this for just a minute, because you could see this user uploaded tons and tons of data from many years, but it's very easy to then maybe you just want to look at the past few years, for instance, which is interesting. Then you can kind of see your 80-20, if you will. In this case, this organization is getting 92% of their revenue from 63 people. So you could actually export those and just see who are those people, at least who are the donor IDs. But this is interesting, and maybe I'll widen it out a bit, go out to 2014. This kind of shows you where you're really getting your revenue from, at least this particular visualization. You could, if you want, you could just, for instance, get rid of that and look at your top donors, or do it the other way around and take out your top donors. And so you can play with this. You can change the way the charts come out. You can add percentages to the charts. You can save the charts as a picture and send it to people, or you can share it. You can get a custom link so that you could share it with, for instance, a board member or leadership. And what I did, I just created a custom URL so that if you send them this URL, then they'll get the live chart, the one that you just customized. They'll get it, and we'll be able to hover over it and see everything just like I'm doing. So I won't go through this in too much more detail. There's a lot of other bells and whistles. You can change it to, you could look at the number of donors instead of dollars. So there you can see how few donors are at the top of the pyramid, if you will, and how many more. And in fact, you could see for this particular organization, the numbers are going down, sadly. Then you can look at all these other metrics, which are your acquisition metrics. And by the way, if you scroll down, it'll show you the increases and decreases, if you will. You could also look at your lapsed donor metrics, your retention metrics from year to year. You know, what are your retention rates from year to year, your reactivation rates, your upgrades, and your downgrades. So it is basic. It's not like Microsoft or it's not like Tableau. It's just pretty simple and straightforward. So another question I see here is the fundraising report card on your dashboard. It's not part of your MarketSmart dashboard. This is a separate tool, but Matt, if you'd like, we can help you out with this and work on it for you, get you access and everything. Yep. So that's number 2 of the freebies. Number 3 is if you are interested, usually we work with folks to do what we call an opportunity analysis at part of the sales process and working with us. But if you're interested, even if you're a customer and maybe we skip that stage, we can help you. In fact, I'm gonna turn this into so that you can see this. What we do is we look at your data, but then we look at your survey data, or our survey data, I should say, with similar types of customers and their response rates and such. And then we create a forecast for you of what you can expect. So this is helpful for planning and trying to determine how many gift officers you might need or might want to hire, and really getting a sense of the scale. Yeah, so what we do with this kind of analysis is we'll really look at all the data, including the ages, and we'll compare it with the ages of the donors that are engaging with our system across the board. Or in your particular segment category, if you will. We'll look at, for instance, what your retention rates are. We'll take a little bit of a deeper dive. This is kind of like just a little bit more detailed version of the fundraising report card. We'll show you your average gift, which donors are retaining, and all kinds of other things. Again, just mostly looking for gifts of assets and trying to help you understand what's likely to occur. So we'll build sort of a rollout program of like, okay, these are the groups of people that you should go after first and introduce to or I should say invite to take our survey and engage with our system. And then we'll prioritize these for you as far as how many you should email, maybe how many you want to send direct mail to, and things like that, and so on and so forth. So I hope I'm not getting too deep into this, but in the end, we're going to make some predictions about how many responses you're going to get based on what we know about your data and what our other customers have done. And we're going to look at filling some pipelines and showing you how they might fall, not just a basic response rate, but how those individuals might tell you where they reside in the consideration process. All right. So this is probably a little fast, but if you're interested in getting this, again, this is free. And I know that some consultants will charge sometimes thousands of dollars for this kind of thing. So if you're interested, just let us know. All right, so then here on our website, you may or may not know about all the types of resources that we have available for free. So of course, you'll see that the fundraising report card is here. You could also, there's a little calculator to calculate your bequest potential for your organization. There's a gift, if you like them, we give out these 3-to-1 little notepads. It's basically a reminder that when you get a major gift, there are 3 things you need to do, which is to thank and report results and engage before you ask for another gift. So these tend to be fairly popular and fun. And if you ask us for them, we'll send it to you. There's also the major gift motivator, whereby if you sign up for this, you'll get a motivational quote related to major gift fundraising every week. It's on Tuesdays. You can opt out at any time, but yeah, feel free to sign up for that. And then, and I'll get to the e-course in a minute, but there's of course my blog, which many of you read and comment on, and I appreciate that. Thank you. There's also my podcast. There's a couple of podcasts, which we started quite a while back. We honestly, we didn't find it was that fruitful to continue these, at least from a marketing perspective. And we tested and tested, but it really wasn't. But anyway, the content's great. So if you want to hear me blather on about stuff, then go to the engagement fundraising one. If you want to hear about fundraising consultants and how they started their practices, you go there. And then there's one on metrics that if you really like that stuff that we were talking about in the fundraising report card, you'll see, you'll learn more about that here. Next, under learning is really all our free webinars, free ebooks and reports. And you could also get my book for free if you like. It's you'll get a PDF or a digital version. You really get whichever, you can get whichever kind you want if you'll just email us. I mean, of course, from this page, you would buy it, but we could send you a link and you could get, let's see where it is here. You could either get the first chapter or it's really this one where we could send you this link. In fact, I'll put it in the chat. Here, I'll do that real quick. If you want, there you go. If you want either the Mobi version, you know, for a tablet or the EPUB PDF or even the audiobook. All right, so I'll go back there. All right. Let's see what else we've got for you. These are still on the free goodies side of things. I guess I won't go through all the webinars and all the ebooks and reports, but there's tons here for free, which actually then brings me to the legacy course, which is not free. This will be the beginning of our paid aspect of this little demonstration. So if you're not interested in hearing about anything that you would have to pay for, then I guess now's the time for you to jump. But the legacy e-course, I think many of you might already, no, forgive me, this legacy e-course, forgive me, the legacy e-course is free. You all probably know about my relationship with Dr. Russell James, which has been over 10 years now. And so he gave us a free course for us to promote and provide. This is heavily oriented on the intricacies of charitable gift planning, plan giving. You do get 13 free credits, CFRE credits, if you join that course. It's ongoing, it's rolling admission. It's just take it as you want it in your time frame. So that's up to you. What I started to talk about is another e-course is we're about to roll out Dr. James's new research. He's been working for, I think, 4 years now on creating just a ton of research that magically, and I'm so blessed to know that everything that he's writing in his newest research really lines up very nicely with everything that we're doing and have been doing for a decade at MarketSmart. So this will reconfirm, if you're interested in this will reconfirm why you're using our system and maybe even give you ideas of other ways that you can do things in-house without us even. But this is, you could register to be notified about the course when it opens on November 30th. We do have some people that have been invited to be beta testers. If you're desperately interested in being a beta tester, please let us know, and we'll see if that's full already. The course is going to be offered at $1995, which is $1,995, $1,995. We don't have our CFRE accreditation yet, so I don't know how many credits you'll get for it. It's quite a dense course, but it's absolutely amazing. The beta testers, if you're interested in that, you can take the course for just $47. So that, of course, is a like once in a lifetime value. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. We will ask you for your feedback so that we could tweak it for the others. So that's kind of one of the things. So if you're going to participate as a beta tester, not only will you be taking the course, but you'll be engaging with us a little bit too. So yeah, so that's actually, this is the first of the paid items that you probably didn't know about that's coming very, very soon. So let's see what else is on my list. All right, so next is if you work for an organization that has cohorts like the Girl Scouts. In other words, you've got offices around the country and such. You may want to learn more about how we call it our connect system, which is really connecting all of your outside cohorts and basically giving them the opportunity to benefit, at least in part, from the system that you're currently enjoying. But this way, because the donors in most cases, honestly, they want to give to their local branch. So we are making changes and optimizing our system to be able to work with larger organizations that have a lot of cohorts like Girl Scouts. So if you're working for one of those types of organizations and you're interested in that, again, just please let your customer success manager know or email us at info@imarketsmart.com. So then let's see. Okay, moving right along, I think what we'll do is talk about some extra efforts, which I did talk about in the most recent customer success event. So if you've been on that one, you may not be as interested in this final portion of today's meeting. But basically, I think most of you know that you've got one extra effort with your main system. Maybe it, well, and here's the list of them. Whoops, I went to the wrong place. Bear with me just a second. Boy, my butterfingers today. All right, so we've got 7 of them now. We've got 3 or 4 that are in production. It'll probably be about a year before we get the others out there. And I'm always coming up with new ideas. And if you have ideas, we'd always like to hear them. But they basically fall in line with your donors' consideration stage. So if you haven't heard I'll give you a quick speech on this, is that donors basically live in 2 areas. It's either the why stage of considering giving or the how stage. Why is more in tune with their life story and your mission and how their life story entwines with your mission, right? But the how stage is when they've kind of really grasped that and they realize that they can find more meaning in their life through giving. And then it's a matter of how. So is it going to be a legacy gift? Is it going to be an online will tool integration where they create their own will with one of those online will tools? Is it giving from their IRA? Or is it just setting up a meeting to meet with a fundraiser, someone on your staff, a gift officer, to talk about all the options that are available to them? So the door opener is actually the most powerful one for setting appointments. I'll just go over that one real quick. It's that the idea is that getting an appointment these days is really quite hard, even if the supporters are warmed up with our system. So the idea is that if your supporters are harder to reach these days, well, we can reach out to them in a way that is very safe for them, and they will react and set their own appointments. Now, the appointments will go right onto your calendar through a Calendly integration if you're familiar with Calendly, but the supporters will just see your calendar online and they'll pick a time and date that works for them. There's really two ways to go about this. If you want really great leads that are qualified and ready to give and ready to meet and give, that's a lot different than maybe just trying to generate engagement. So for this organization, we widened the funnel and we didn't make the door opener invitation about giving so much as about just talking to a wildlife enthusiast. And that really widened it actually too much. I mean, this is an organization with like 8 million records on file. They well screened it down to 800,000, and then we scrubbed it further to 80,000. We generated 4,000 leads. And then we looked at those leads and we invited 1,800 people to get the door opener. Now, because the messaging was related to just talking and engaging, we ended up generating 117 meetings, which was actually too much for them. But for a similar organization with similar kind of size and similar data, we made the invitation more about giving. And then, so they were less meetings that we generated, but they were much more qualified and turned into better visits. So just leaving that out there, I personally think it's better to get highly qualified engagements rather than a high volume, but it really depends. I mean, if you're talking about, if you have a mid-level program, then you might want to really widen the funnel for your mid-level donors, which is just very different than this one. So it really depends, but that's the way the door opener works. Again, there are 7 of these. And the last thing that I'll bring up, and I'll just check my chat to see if there's any questions here. But the last thing that I'll bring up is that we are curious about what people think about accepting cryptocurrencies. And if, in addition to the donor advised fund widget that I talked about, if you would want MarketSmart to create an integration so that people could give their cryptocurrencies and you would just get the money. So in other words, if they're already on the pages that we supplied to you, they would click, they would donate their cryptocurrencies, and then it would actually convert the money into cash and deliver it to you. So that's the only thing that's like on the board that's not actually developed that I'm curious about. But I wonder if there are, this actually concludes the quick customer roundtable presentation. So I'm curious if anybody has questions or anything that they'd like me to cover a little bit more deeply. I'm happy to do that. And I'll just give it a minute to see if there are any questions before I just conclude the episode. Let's see here. Nope, doesn't look like many questions here, but there are quite a lot of people on still. So, all right, well, thank you then. No questions. Feel free to reach out to me or us again at info@imarketsmart.com. This essentially concludes our presentation for today. And I thank you so much for joining us and for being a MarketSmart customer. Have a great one. Bye-bye.